Hello and welcome to today's practice. My name is Kim and this is my YouTube channel, Traveled and Balanced. Today we're going to be doing a 25-minute total body vinyasa flow. We're going to need a block for today's practice, but feel free to use a book instead if you do not have a block at home. And then we're going to come into a seated position to start. We're going to sit on the block. Take your knees wide and taking the flat side of the block in between the heels. Okay, come to sit on the block, the front edge of the block. That'll help tilt the pelvis forward a little bit, helping you lengthen up a little bit more in your seated position. So when you're ready, start to take the knees close together. Rest your hands on the thighs and then begin to close your eyes. If this is not comfortable at any point, feel free to come into a regular seated position. Begin to lengthen out your breath. Take longer inhales, longer exhales. Begin to relax the shoulders away from the ears. Part the teeth and let the tongue rest on the bottom of the mouth. And clench anywhere in the jaw, the corners of the eyes, and between the eyebrows. Let go of that tension there. Feel the sit bones rooting into the block here so that you're lengthening up just a little bit more. With the crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Soften in the fingertips. Just listening to the breath. Breathing in through the nose on your inhales. And the exhale, breathe out the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth with a sigh. Good. One last time. Inhale. And exhale. And begin to open the eyes. Soften a little bit more on the fingertips. We're going to come into a tabletop position. Just bring the block off to the side. Once you're in your seated position, or your tabletop position rather, the shoulders above the wrists, knees underneath your hips, legs about hip width here, tops of the feet pressed down. Move through a couple rounds of cat-cow, warming up your spine. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin, lift the tailbone. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone so you can round your spine, press your mat away. Inhale, lift the heart, let the belly drop towards the ground, lift the chest. Exhale, rounds the spine, press your mat away, head hangs heavy. Good. Last time, inhale. And then exhale. Good. Come with your neutral flat spine. We're going to take your right heel behind you. Bring it in line with your hip here. Have the toes point down like you're pressing against the back wall. Left hand, when you're ready, is going to come out in front of you. It's going to come into a little bit of a balance pose. Draw the navel in towards the spine here. We're working on strengthening the lower back. Pause here for 2 breaths. Good. Grip the right fingertips down. Good. And now we're going to connect underneath. Bring the elbow towards the knee. Round your spine. Inhale. As you exhale, come out of the pose with the long arm, long leg. Inhale, bring it in. Round the spine. Exhale, kick everything back out. Good. Inhale, bring it back in. Good. Exhale. Come out of your pose. Come back to your tabletop position. Shake out the hips. Side to side. When you're ready, we'll come over to the other side. Left heel along with your hip. Toes point down. Right hand out in front. One long line of energy. Last breath. Good. Connect underneath for the 3 breaths. Inhale, round your spine, elbow connects with your knee. Exhale, kick it back out. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, kick it back out. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Again, come back to your tabletop position, shake out your hips, and setting up for your child's pose. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Toes will cross in the back. Start to sink your hips back to your heels. And at the same time, start to walk your hands forward, melt your forehead to the ground. And plugging the fingertips into the ground, lifting the forearms off the ground, adding a little bit more activation. Take a last breath here. Exhale, round the spine back to tabletop position, knees in line with your hips, setting up for your first downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide, plug the fingertips down, toes tucked, send your hips back. Start to make that shape here of the upside down V. Take a moment here. Find a place that feels comfortable so the feet can be hip width or a little bit wider. Hands will be in line with your shoulders. Plug your fingertips down. Good, and then start to pedal out your feet. Start to wake up the backs of the legs here. Let your head hang heavy. Take your gaze towards the back of your mat. Good, you can shake the hips side to side, wagging the tail a little bit. Shake the head, yes or no. Then we'll start to find our stillness here. We'll take 3 breaths. Press your mat away, lift the hips high. Notice that the ribs are coming towards the thighs. 2 more breaths. Big bend to the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat. Walk slowly, forward fold, ragdoll. Take your feet wider than hip width. Grab opposite elbows, start to sway side to side, let the head hang heavy. Unclench anywhere in the jaw, the corners of the eyes. Bring all your weight to the tops of the feet here into the ball mounts. Good, lifting the hips high, take one last breath. Let your arms hang heavy, walk the feet back in just a little bit closer so that they're hip width. Toes point towards the front of the mat. Gentle bend to the knees, plug the feet down. Inhale, hands will rise all the way, lengthen up through the whole body. As you exhale, come through center. Good, inhale, rise all the way, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Let your head hang heavy, hands can touch the ground. Inhale for the halfway lift, slide your hands up your shins, gaze out a few inches, lift with your chest. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, rise all the way. And the exhale comes through center. Good, relax your shoulders, Mountain Tadasana pose. And just bringing the feet into a comfortable position facing the front of your mat. Gaze out right in front of your mat, or you can close the eyes. Soft bend into the knees. Maybe a little soft tuck of the hips here. So that we're coming with the neutral spine. We're not pressing the hips forward. We're not pressing the hips back. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Take one last breath. Good. On your inhale, hands will rise all the way. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale for the halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to your mat. Step your right foot back. Tap your right knee down. Toes tucked behind. Bend into your front knee right above your ankle. And then hands come to lift. Inhale. Good. Exhale, relax your shoulders away from the earth. If you need to, arms can open up a little bit more. Gazing towards the front of the mat. Notice that the hips are right underneath your shoulders. Draw the navel in towards your spine. Good, pause here for one last breath. The exhale, hands come to frame the front foot. And this is where you can use your block. The flat side can come underneath your right hand. Rebend into your front knee, right above the ankle. Okay, start to keep your hips exactly the way they are. We're just going to twist through the navel. Inhale, reaches the left hand up to the sky. One long line through the arms and the shoulders. Feel the left hip drawing back. Feel the right hip drawing forward. Gaze can come up towards the hands. You can bring it towards the top of your mat. Good, inhale, lift with your chest, last breath. Exhale, reframe the front foot, just bring your block off to the side, come back to downward facing dog. Good, pedal out your feet, take any movements that you need to here. Okay, inhale, rise with your right heel, bring your right knee in toward your chest, round the spine, gaze to the top of your mat, step your foot forward, tap your left knee down. Keep your back toes tucked in. And then bend into that front knee. Inhale, rise all the way. Come into that kneeling lunge. Relax your shoulders. Good. Feel the stretch in the left hip flexor here. Feel your right heel drawing back toward the back of your mat. Last breath. Hands come to your mat. Coming back into your twist. So setting up for your left hand on the ground or the block. Rebend into the front knee. Right hand's gonna peel up, just twisting through the core here. Feel your right shoulder start to stack over your left. Okay, but feeling your hips be stable here. Still feel the right hip drawing back. Feel this left hip drawing towards the front of your mat. Take the gaze where it feels best for your neck. Take one last breath. Good, exhale, come back out of your pose, frame the front foot. Move your block off to the side, downward facing dog. Step back with your right foot. Press the mat away, lift the hips high. Gaze towards the back of your mat. Next exhale, bend your knees, gaze to the front of the mat. Start to slowly walk all the way to the top. Forward fold. Inhale for the halfway lift, slide your hand up your shins to your gaze is out in front of you. And the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way. Connect your hands at the top. Exhale, comes through center. Come back to your mountain Tadasana pose for a moment here. Okay, one last breath. Exhale. Good, inhale, rise all the way. And the exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, gentle bend into the knees. Inhale for the halfway lift, send your tailbone back. Exhale, forward fold, hands to your mat, step back to your plank. Setting up for your Vinyasa flow. Draw the navel in towards your spine. Shoulders right above your wrists. Hips in line with your shoulders. Roll forward onto your toes. Lower to the belly. The knees can drop first. Elbows wrap towards the ribs as you lower. Tops of the feet press down. And then the palms underneath your shoulders. Inhale for your cobra. Gentle bend to the elbows. Lift up the heart. Exhale, comes back out. Downward facing dog. Feel free to come through tabletop first. And then send your hips back. Good. Just take a moment here. Pedal out your feet. See how each downward dog is starting to feel in your body today. Right heel reaches to the ceiling. Bring your right knee in toward your chest, round the spine, gaze the top of your mat, step your foot forward, crescent lunge. Okay, bring your feet a little bit wider so they're on different energy lines here. We're going to rebend to the front knee, and the hands will come to rise. Good. Pressing through the back leg, strong back leg, press through the back heel. Drawing the navel in toward your spine. Start to feel the outside of your left shoulder, left hip spin toward the front. Last breath here. Good, hands come behind the back. Just interlace your hands or grab opposite elbows. Good, draw your hands down. Just lift through your chest here. Pause here for 2 breaths. Good, slowly release your hands. Take your hands to the hips. Left foot is going to come towards the back of your mat, parallel. Right foot's going to follow. We're going to set up for a standing wide-legged forward fold. Okay, so bring the feet wide of the hip width here. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. And the exhale, forward fold. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Let your head hang heavy.
Gentle bends the elbows. Now bring the crown of your head a little closer to the ground. Coming to balance on the ball mounds of the feet. All the weight's going to come to the outsides of the feet. Relaxing your shoulders here. Good, just come a little bit side to side for an inner thigh stretch. Come over to your left side, and then your right, bend into that right knee. One more time each side. And slowly come back to your wide-legged forward folds. Gentle bend into your knees. Slowly round your spine. Stack one vertebrae at a time. Good. Relax here. Start to walk your feet in. We're going to be at the top of your mat when you're ready. Toes point towards the front. Inhale, bring the hands in towards prayer. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Inhale, rise all the way. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Tailbone lifts. Inhale for the halfway lift. And the exhale, forward fold. Hands to your mat. Step back 1 foot at a time. Come into your plank. And then moving through your vinyasa flow or skipping it completely. Come into downward facing dog. Roll forward onto your toes. Lower to the belly. Knees can drop first. Elbows wrap towards the ribs. Come into your mini cobra here. Lift with your chest. Inhale. And exhale, forward. Come back out. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel brings it towards the sky. And the exhale, bring the knee in toward your chest. Step your foot forward. Set up for your crescent lunge on this side. Walk your left foot over just a little bit over to the left side to open up the hips a little bit more. When you're ready, hands will rise. Rebend to the front knee, strong back leg. Start to feel the inner thigh of the right leg start to spin towards the back of your mat here. Feel your hip points pointing towards the front. Take a last inhale. Exhale, hands come behind the back, interlace your hands. And then inhale, draw the hands down. And then take an exhale, gaze towards the sky. Opening through your chest here. Good. Last inhale. And the exhale slowly comes back out. Good. Frame the front foot. This time we're going to forward fold to the top of our mat. Bend into your back knee. Forward fold. Inhale for that halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Coming into our Malasana squat. So start to take your feet as wide as your mat. And this is where our block can come in again. You can take it towards the back of your mat, behind the heels, on the lower setting. Take your hands in towards prayer. Start to gaze forward. Okay, slowly start to come into your squat here. Toes might come out towards the side of your mat. Toes might face forward. It'll be different for everybody. Start to lift with your chest as you come back. Come to sit onto the block. Okay, wherever you are, just bring the elbows in towards the legs here. So we're pressing the legs away. Good, let gravity here do the work for you. Lengthen through your spine. Good, we'll take one last breath. Good, slowly take your hands to your mat. Come into your forward fold. Bring the block up to the top of your mat. Adjust your feet so you're comfortable. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Coming into your chair pose. Feet come together or knees to touch. If you have any lower back issues, you can take your feet apart a little bit. Wherever you are, bend into your knees, sink your hips back. Take your hands towards your chest here, coming into your chair. Lift up with your chest, with your sternum. Sink the hips back, all the way coming into your heels. Lift your toes, spread them wide. Bring them back down. Good, inhale. Exhale, slowly come to rise. Table Tadasana pose. right knee in line with your hip here. Bring all your weight into your left heel. Good. Coming into your warrior three, start to bring your right leg back in line with your hip. Fold at the hips here. Come to gaze towards the front of your mat. Good. Find the outside of the right hip spinning down. We'll take one last breath. Exhale, come back to your standing Tadasana pose. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale for the halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Coming back into your chair pose. Set up your feet so you're comfortable. Sink the hips back. Hands come in towards prayer. Lift with your sternum here. Sink the hips back. Good. Feel the thighs coming toward each other. Take another breath. Exhale, slowly rise back to your standing Tadasana pose. Warrior three. Plug your right heel down. Left knee lifts in line with your hip. Send your left leg back. Fold at the hips. Good. Feel the outside of your left hip spinning towards the ground. Gentle bend to the front knee. One side might be easier than the other. Good. Last breath. And slowly come back to your standing Tadasana pose. Inhale, rise all the way. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for the halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to your mat, lift your heels, bend into your knees a lot. Slowly come down all the way. Come onto your sit bones. And we're going to flip over onto our backs, keeping the block nearby. Take the bottoms of the feet together, knees are going to come wide. Coming into your Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can rest on the belly or by the side. Resting the back of the neck here on the ground. Let the shoulders start to melt towards the ground. Start to slow the heart here. Slow the breath. Take the hands after the knees, draw the knees together. Start to rock back and forth in the lower back. Good. Coming into your happy baby, hands on the inside or outsides of the feet or legs. And draw the feet towards the ceiling, knees towards the outsides of the body, and start to rock back and forth. Good. Slowly bring your feet back down. We're going to use the block here. Coming into legs lifted. So take your flat side of the block here. Come with the heels on the ground. Lift your hips up. Slide the block underneath. Resting here onto the block. Take the heels towards the sky. Feel free to do this against a wall if that feels more comfortable. Adjust the shoulders so that you're comfortable. Back of the neck here is going to rest. And this is our final pose. Good. Start to, again, calm down the breath. Take longer inhales and exhales. Start to let it come back to its natural pattern. Eyes are closed. Let the body feel really heavy here on the mat and the block.
Start to wiggle the fingertips and the toes. Start to make a little bit of circles in the ankles and the wrist. Take your knees in toward your chest. Good. Place one foot back down at a time. Lift your hips. Place the block off to the side. And again, bring the knees back in towards the chest. Rock side to side on the lower back here. Good. Come to stillness. Come to roll onto one of your sides. Use your top hand to press down so you can start to come into your seated position. Keeping the eyes closed. Take your hands in towards prayer, thumbs against the sternum. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the mouth. Thank you for coming today, coming to class, taking this time for yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you. If you enjoyed that class, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment and like. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to teach on my YouTube channel. And I will see you later in the next video. Bye.